All right, guys, I'm back. It's May 21st, and I have 10 players that I absolutely love for us to incorporate into some player props. But before we get into it, you know what we got to do. We got to recap yesterday. Bang! There we go. We got the sweep, baby. It eluded us the last two nights by one batter, but today we got it. I mean, they only singled, so, hey, they did the bare minimum, like I said, baseline prediction just to record a hit. We got on a 24-6 run. Yeah, it feels real good. I mean, especially with Kyle Tucker, man. 2 home runs that weren't because they were slightly foul. And he got walked twice. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be one of them kind of nights, huh? But he gets up again in the 9th inning and hits a little single for us, baby, to get us. Oh man, 3 for 3. Pretty good. Love it. Let's recap what we've done so far on the season. All right, after hitting all 3 players yesterday, now it brings us to we've hit 104 of the last 139 batters just to record a hit, 75% hit rate, absolutely amazing. All right, now we've hit 45 of 55 with that new added criteria, that extra stringent way of selecting players to hopefully increase our hit rate. And it increased it to 82% hit rate. 45 correct, the predicted players to record a hit, and only 10 misses. Absolutely amazing. All right, consider tipping, and I want any money. What do I want you to do? Hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, do that. Share with someone that might like this channel. I'd really appreciate it if you can push it out. We are on fire and having a lot of fun, and that's about it. Let's get right to these 10 players that I absolutely love. All right, first matchup, Kyle Tucker versus Griffin Canning. You look at the pitch usage percentage. Canning loves to throw the four-seam fastball the most, on average about 32% of the time. He gives that up at a 245 batting average. And how does Kyle Tucker do against the four-seam fastball all season long? He only hits it at 328. Pretty solid. Moving on to the next pitch, 26% of the time the slider. He's not commanding it very well. He's giving it up at a 279 batting average, and Kyle Tucker's crushing the slider this year at a 385 batting average. Moving on to the next pitch, 22% the changeup, gives that up at a 246 rate, and Kyle Tucker says, I love that one the most. Let me see some of that, because I'm killing that at a 600 batting average. Ballpark Pal has this listed as an extreme advantage for Kyle Tucker. He represents the worst 5 percentile possible matchups for Griffin Canning. Tucker has been on a pretty hot streak of late. He's recorded at least one hit of 22 of his last 28 games. Just in the last 14 days, he's hitting 274 batting average off of right-handed pitchers. His barrel rate is right there in the elite range, knocking on the door of the elite range, and his ice rate is in the elite range. So therefore, that tells me barrel rate measures how well you hit the ball off the bat. ISO rate measures how much power you have. So what that tells me is he's a home run threat. He hit how many the other day? I can't remember. He also has the power for extra base hits, so the over 1.5 type of bet is in play. But as always, the baseline prediction is just to record a hit. Next matchup, oh, look who it is. It's the big bear, baby, Marcelo Ozuna. Where have you been? We haven't seen you in a long time. We used to do so much early in the season. You were so productive for us. Then you went on that Western road trip, and I kind of wanted to stay away from you, and luckily we did. But, you're hitting on all cylinders right now, and we love to have the opportunity for you to help us out today. He's going up against Javier Assad, and he throws a sinker at 31% of the time, and he commands that pitch pretty well. He only gives it up at a 145 rate. Not necessarily the best scenario that I'm looking for, but I still think there's an opportunity with Ozuna because he's just been on fire. He hits the sinker at a 333 rate. Moving on to the next pitch, Assad, 23% four-seam fastball. He gives that up. He's not commanding that very well. He's giving it up at a 310 rate. And Ozuna says, thank you very much. I love the four-seam fastball. I only hit it at a 429 batting average. Absolutely amazing. And then tied for second place, I guess you could say, is the cutter at also 23% he throws. And he throws that and gives up a batting average of a 273. So not too good there either. And Ozuna says, I'll take that one too. I hit that at 300. So Ballpark Pal has this listed as a moderate advantage for Ozuna. He represents the worst 10 percentile possible matchups for Assad. Ozuna has been on fire. I mean, not just in the short term, but the long term. He's recorded at least one hit in 35 of his last 42 games, it's essentially the whole season, okay? He's hitting 317 batting average off of right-handed pitchers in the last 14 days, so it gives you that nice little short window of how hot he really is. 317 last 14 days batting average for his right-handed pitchers. His barrel rate is in the elite range. His ISO rate is in the elite range. And what does that tell you? And what does it tell me? It tells me he's a home run threat. He hit one yesterday, so you think he could do it again? We'll see. Obviously has the power for extra base hits, so the over 1.5 total bases type of bet is in play. But as always, the baseline prediction is just to record a hit. All right, next up, oh, look who it is. It's Bobby Witt Jr., another guy that we had so much success with not too long ago, and we kind of stayed away from him for various reasons, and luckily we did, or smartly we did, maybe you put it that way. We're calling on you today because we really need your help, baby. Bobby Witt Jr. versus Casey Mize. When you look at Mize, he loves to throw the four-seam fastball at 42% of the time, and I didn't put in the amount that he gives that up by on the screen there, but he gives it up at a, what the hell is it? 259 batting average. So, not too scary. That's hittable, especially when Bobby Witt Jr. is, crushing the four-seam fastball all season long at a 308 batting average. The next pitch by Mize, 28%, the slider. He gives that one up at a 278 rate. Not too good. That looks good for us, for Bobby Witt Jr., hitting that pitch at a 313 batting average. And then the third most pitched ball, a split finger fastball. He commands it pretty well at a 205 batting average given up. But Bobby Witt Jr. says, I don't care. I love that one. Give it to me, baby. I got it at a 500 batting average hitting that split finger, baby. Ballpark Pal has this listed as an extreme advantage for Witt Jr. He represents the worst 1 percentile of possible matchups for Casey Mize. Oh, I love this opportunity for today. He's recorded at least one hit in 20 of his last 27 games. Bobby Witt Jr. Just in the last 14 days, small window to really get an idea of how hot he is. He's hitting at a 288 batting average for his right-handed pitchers. His barrel rate's in the elite range. His ISO rate is a little bit below the good range. So, not too bad. I have him as a medium home run threat as a result. He does have the power for the extra base hit, so the over 1.5 total bases is in play. But as always, the baseline prediction is just at least to record a hit. All right, in the interest of time, because I said I had 10 players, and we just got through how many? 3 of them. The next 3 slides are going to have multiple players on them. So I don't have to go through every slide and say, well, this same game, same pitcher, like I always say. We can just kind of identify really quickly the opportunities. So we have Ryan Jeffers and Max Kepler in the same game going against Patrick Corbin. And you look at Corbin's pitch usage. He loves to throw the sinker at about 37%, and he does not command that pitch very well. He's throwing it at 329 batting average given up. Not very good. Jeffers is hitting that pitch at a 250 average, and Kepler at a 235. A little light compared to how I usually select these players, but I think that Corbin is so bad with this pitch that 250 and 235. I mean, I'm willing to give it a try. I think this opportunity is great because when you look at the next pitch at 28%, the slider, he is worse at that one. I mean, he commands that one doesn't command it, I should say, at a 391 batting average. Absolutely horrible. Okay. Now again, Jeffers and Kepler, both hitting it around, 241 and 235, not lights out. But I think we're just kind of saying, hey, there's an opportunity for these two to really, pad the stats, hopefully, in this game. I mean, I don't want to, just to record a hit is all we need to do, right? Is all we're looking for. And then when you look at the third most pitched ball, the cutter, giving it up at a 242, that's not amazing. But so if you start throwing some of them, I'd love that too, even more, because Jeffers hits that at a 429 rate. Kepler hits that one at a 385 rate. So I have a medium home run threat for both of these guys. They both have a barrel rate. Well, Jeffers has a barrel rate that's in the good range. Kepler is a little light, but that's fine because we're not going to play them for home runs. I have them both as a medium home run threat. Both ISOs are in the elite range, which means they have power. So I do think that the over 1.5 total bases for both of these players is in play. But as always, I'm just going to, as always, the baseline prediction is just to record a hit for both Ryan Jeffers and Max Kepler. All right, second to last slide here, guys. Just to let you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel. We're getting there. We got William Contreras and Christian Yelich in taking on Trevor Rogers. When you look at Rogers, he loves to throw the four-seam fastball about 33% of the time on the year, and he's not commanding that very well. He's giving that up at a 304 batting average. Absolutely love this opportunity because Contreras crushes the four-seam fastball at a 311 batting average, and Yelich is a little one step ahead. He's doing it a little bit better at a 316 batting average. Moving on to the next pitch. Rogers, none of these pitches he just commands them very well. The changeup 27%, gives it up at a 323 rate. Contreras hits it at a 261. Yelich is a little light at 200, but I think it's okay. The sinker gives that up at a 314 batting average. And this is where, look at this one. Contreras is crushing it at a 378 batting average, the sinker all year long. Yelich says, I'm one-upping you. I've been doing it at 400 batting average, hitting the sinker all season long. You look at the barrel rate for Contreras. It's in the good range. The ISO rate's a little light. Yelich, his barrel rate's a little low. His ISO rate is off the charts. So what that all tells me is he's a low home run threat, or both of these guys. And I didn't edit the slide properly up there. It says home run threat. They're both medium at best home run threats. We'll put it that way. But they do have the power for extra base hits, so the over 1.5 total bases is in play. But I also wanted to bring up when you look at the last 14 days, Contreras against left-handed pitchers, he's hitting it at a 375 batting average. So that little shorter window is actually really amazing relative to the three batting averages I have on the screen there that I talked about that he did all season long. So he's even hotter than those numbers would indicate. And same thing with Yelich. He's hitting left-handed pitchers just the last 14 days at a 385 batting average. So it kind of puts those, like I said, those other three numbers that I have on the screen there individually versus the certain pitches. He's actually probably doing much better with that 14-day batting average, what that's indicating. So there you go. As always, baseline prediction, just to record a hit for both of these players. All right, last slide. We got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, all going up against Brandon Pfaadt. Now, when I spell fat, I spell it F-A-T, but he does it a little different, but that's okay. We have Pfaadt, who is commanding his number one pitch pretty well at 34% four-seam fastball. He's only giving up a 203 batting average. And how does Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani hit? They all hit that pretty solid. You can see right there on the screen. The sweeper, Pfaadt, his second most pitched ball at 30%. He has pretty good command on that also. A 222 batting average given up. And you can see what all three of these players do. They're all pretty solid, except Ohtani's a little light on the sweeper this season, only hitting it at a 200 batting average. Now, when you get to the sinker's third pitch at about 19%, he's giving that up at a nice 289 rate. And you can see Betts is hitting that one at 410. Freeman's a little light at 226 batting average versus sinker all year. And Ohtani's crushing that one. So, so the opportunity for this one, you have to maybe hold your nose a little bit because, again, this might be a more difficult matchup, but I think it still has value. I think these players are the cream of the crop type of players where I don't want to shy away from it because, I still think this is great. Like I said, Ohtani in the last 14 days is hitting 387 batting average off of right-handed pitchers. His barrel rate is elite. His ISO rate is elite. He is a home run threat. I have him as opportunity for over 1.5 total bases today because he has the power in that ISO rate. So I'm thinking about playing it that way. When you look at Freddie Freeman, he hit a home run last night, but I'm not saying to do it. I'm not saying to play him for a home run. Because his barrel rate's a little low. But I could see him getting, has the power for extra bases. So the over 1.5 total bases is in play for him. And it is same for Mookie Betts. Over 1.5 total bases is in play for him, but don't play him for a home run. Not to say that he can't, but it's like, I just don't think it's a good risk reward, today. But, there you go. Like I said, we're going to grade these all in the baseline prediction of just to record a hit. So, and because this pitcher is so good, he didn't qualify, or these three plays didn't qualify under that extra criteria where I'm even more stringent and more critical of having the right variables in place. So that's why we're hitting those extra criteria plays at a 82% rate. So these three players will not qualify under that extra criteria play. And Marcelo Ozuna is not, but the other 6 are of that higher quality opportunities. That's like I said, hitting an 82% hit rate, over the last month. So there you go. 10 players that I absolutely love. Hit the like button, subscribe, share this with anybody you would feel would enjoy it. And I'm going to have a home run video coming out on May 21st, sometime in the morning or early afternoon. For all the people that play Dinger Tuesdays, I had a lot of people reach out and say, hey, can you, early in the season, you were doing some home run plays. Can you do that again? And I was looking ahead, and there's 4 games that are absolutely amazing in terms of weather that's going to increase the probability of home runs. It's going to make the ball travel farther because it's going to be warm. The wind's blowing out. The wind's going to be blowing pretty heavy. So there's going to be an amazing opportunity with 4 ballparks with a lot of amazing name players that, are capable of hitting home runs. So watch for that video if you're interested. Like I said, Dinger Tuesday. Hopefully I'll help you make some good decisions on some home runs, baby. So there you go. We'll leave it there. I'll just talk to you guys tomorrow.